What's good, creative fan? Brandon Washington here. And when Blackmagic first announced the Pocket 6K Pro, they released it alongside two new accessories. They released it with the EVF and their new battery grip. Now, both of these accessories are unique to the 6K Pro. They don't work on the other 6K and 4K Pocket cameras. So this means that not only are you deciding to go to the 6K Pro because of the new additions like the swivel screen, the new battery system, and having the built-in NDs, but now you have these additional accessories that could potentially push you over the edge and make you decide whether you should go with the 6K or the 6K Pro. I wanted to see how exactly these would work in a run and gun situation. So we are out testing out the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro for the full review, especially since they just updated the firmware. But today we're gonna primarily be looking at the viewfinder and this battery grip and see if they're truly pro accessories. Today is actually kind of a perfect day to be testing this out because it's like right around 1:30, and so primarily the reason why you're gonna wanna use the viewfinder is when it's so bright outside that you can't even see the screen. That's really where this viewfinder is gonna come in handy. Now, for 500 bucks, is it really worth it in some bright sunlight? Let's find out. So after using the EVF for a little bit of time, I quickly realized that one, this is a really solid EVF. Now, this is not my first EVF I ever used. In fact, the first EVF I really used was on an Alexa Mini. A while ago, I did a review on the 6K versus the Alexa Mini. And when I did that video, one of the big points that I made was how much I loved shooting with an EVF. It just allows you to see your image a lot clearer, especially when you have a high resolution EVF, which is now what we have inside of the 6K Pro. With this EVF, I legitimately feel like I am able to see my image better, especially in harsh sunlight. But on top of that, I can also actually like see all of my focus points and be able to make sure that I am dialing in that focus perfectly. So after using this for roughly about 5 or so minutes, a couple of nice little benefits. One, installing this thing is super easy. Literally, you can use a flathead screwdriver, you unscrew the actual mount that's there, you plug this guy in, you screw it in, and then it's easily working. Another nice piece about it is there's this nice little adjustment dial that actually makes it to where you can see it. So depending on if you wear glasses, if you don't wear glasses, I kind of alternate between the two. And then also just based on how you actually, your vision is, you're able to adjust it so you can see it a lot clearer. Now, another awesome bonus when using the EVF is something that you kind of expect with most mirrorless cameras, and that is when you bring your eye up to the EVF itself, it actually turns off the actual screen, which is gonna help preserve some battery life. Another big benefit is now when you go underneath the monitor settings in the 6K Pro, you'll see your LCD screen, which we've always had, the HDMI output, but now you'll actually see one for your EVF. And with this, you're able to control what exactly you're getting on that EVF playback, which means you can have a different range set up for what comes to the EVF to what you see on the screen. All right, so another awesome little bonus that comes with these guys. Inside of the actual packaging comes these little eye cups, and these literally just pop off just like that, and they have a couple different ones in there. They also have one for the bigger one, depending on if you're right-eyed or you're left-eyed. You can actually put on the one that's best for you, which makes it really easy to actually shoot with this. Another huge benefit, especially with those bigger ones, is it actually gives you another point of contact. So as you guys know, the Blackmagic has no in-body stabilization, and so if you are shooting, you can have your right hand on, your left hand underneath on the battery grip, and having the eye cup actually connected to your face gives you a third point of contact, which I have found really helps with the stabilization. So let's switch it up just a tad bit. So now let's hop into the battery grip. Now, in my opinion, this was the most important accessory that Blackmagic released for the 6K Pro. As far as I'm concerned, the design is substantially better than the 6K models. One of the big benefits being the fact that you can still keep your actual battery inside the camera, and then you can add 2 additional batteries to the actual system itself. Another awesome benefit of this is the 2 batteries in here are actually consistently charging the battery inside of your camera. So what this means is that these 2 batteries are actually going to depreciate first, which means you can actually hot swap these while this battery inside the camera is still functioning, still working, and then put 2 more batteries in here and keep shooting. So technically, I mean, as long as you can keep enough batteries charged, you can pretty much keep shooting nonstop. Installation on this guy is super easy as well. You just have to take off the pin port on the bottom of your Pocket 6K Pro and then literally just screw it in to the bottom. Couldn't be easier. But I know another one of the big questions that a lot of people are gonna ask is, are these accessories actually worth going from the 6K to the 6K Pro? Because really, outside of the swivel screen and the built-in ND filters, the 6K and the 6K Pro are roughly the exact same camera, but now you have the option of these quote-unquote Pro accessories. So let's break down who would actually need these Pro accessories and when they're gonna come in handy. First, the battery grip. No matter which pocket camera you choose to go with, I do strongly recommend picking up a battery grip. The battery life on the Pocket system is just not great. It's just not a great system overall, so having a battery grip really does come in handy. When it comes to the 6K Pro, this is the best iteration of a battery grip I've ever seen on any camera. Regardless if we're talking Canons or Sonys, the fact that you don't actually have to get rid of the battery inside of the camera and you can just attach two additional batteries and hot swap them is a second to none. Definitely pick it up. But when it comes to the EVF, this is really gonna vary on how you shoot. The EVF is not really in a very ergonomical standpoint where it can be adjusted. You literally have to be right behind the camera. So unless you plan on moving yourself, this isn't like other EVFs that can be moved or changed or kind of rigged around the camera. It has to be plugged directly into the top of the camera in order for it to work. There's no HDMI or there's no additional cable, SDI cable that you can use to repurpose where the EVF can be located on any kind of a rig. And personally, that's my biggest gripe with the EVF. For a $500 EVF, which isn't super expensive for an EVF, I would love to see some type of lengthening cable that would allow you to take this EVF and move it elsewhere. As you guys know, I rig out Blackmagics all the time, and granted, I have said that the 6K Pro does not need to be rigged out, but if you were using this camera in like a shoulder rig configuration, the EVF would pretty much be useless. You would not be able to use the EVF in that situation, which is something that I would love to be able to do. So if someone was able to create a cable that would allow you to attach it into the top of the 6K Pro, then run that to the EVF and then be able to use the EVF maybe offside or off of the camera, so that way you can really just put it where you need it, that personally to me would be the best iteration of this EVF. As I said, I am working on a full review on the 6K Pro. I mean, it has been a long time coming because I started reviewing it and then they did the software update. So now I'm having to re-review it with the new software update. But personally, I think the software update is gonna make it worth it. So definitely be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the full review on this camera. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on these accessories. Do you have another pocket camera and are you thinking of going to the 6K Pro? And are these accessories the reason why you wanna go up to the 6K Pro? I'd love to know your thoughts down below in the comments. But thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.